having to do all of this on your own. And then I have to like kind of recalibrate myself, you know. And I'm like, God just brought me all the way here.
Mm-hmm.
Why would He just leave you here?
Mm-hmm.
Why am I listening to guilt? Why am I listening to fear? Why am I listening to shame? If I don't get this kitchen, so many people gonna be disappointed. Why am I listening to all of those things? And God is greater than that.
Mm-hmm.
And that right there snapped me back into reality.
Welcome to the Life, Language, and Lyrics podcast, where we explore finding our passions, living with purpose, and facing our fears. I'm Laina, and as some of you may know me as Dr. D, I'm a professor, a speech language pathologist, a baker, and a lover of people with a mission to bring a little Southern comfort to your day. Today, I have joining me is Roniece Brisbon. Roniece is the owner of Real Good Eats. She is a chef and entrepreneur of over 10 years and a DC native. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited. So let's get into this. Okay, so first, Renice, I have had your delicious food before.
Yes.
I can't stop thinking about that mac and cheese.
I put my foot in it.
I mean, foot, ankle, knees, everything. Okay. Um, and so, but you also like you've just been real inspirational, right? Just seeing you like in just a short time that I've known you grow so fast. And so, can you first just tell us just a little bit about yourself, like who you are? We already know you from DC, but tell us a little bit about you.
So basically, I'm a DC native, and I come from a family of cooks. I've always been around food. My grandmother, both of my grandmothers, um, even being at home is just it's food all over the place, and I like to eat. So that's really one of my passions. I have four wonderful children:
Mm-hmm.
11, 5, 3, and 1.
Oh, you busy.
Yeah, years of very, very busy, very busy. That's why I'm glad this entrepreneurship, journey in my life is working out because I get to be flexible.
Yeah.
Uh, I definitely come from humble beginnings. My mom worked hard.
Mm-hmm.
She always kept me like out the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? And then
Mm-hmm.
I got my dad's side who's like extra ghetto. So she did what she could. You know what I'm saying? And I think I turned out not half bad. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, that's just a little bit about me. I went to Art Institute of Washington
Mm-hmm.
for about 2 years. I went to DC Central Kitchen culinary training program
Mm-hmm.
for like about a year. I worked in over 8 schools across the city with DC Public Schools in the cafeteria. I worked at about 3 to 4 restaurants in DC. I don't know if you heard of Del Frisco's, RPM Italian. So I worked there. So I'm well versed in the culinary industry as far
Mm-hmm.
as cooking for 1,200 students and
Yeah.
then cooking fast plates for a party of 60 that's walking in through the door.
Yeah.
So
Versatile.
yeah, very versatile in this industry.
Okay. So you talked about how you just grew up around food, right? And we know
Hmm.
food is like a center point of the black community, family gatherings, all of that. But what was the moment that you realized that food was going to be a major part of your life in this way?
Because I realized that I like doing it for free. I
Mm,
think that's when I found out that this is my passion.
yeah.
Something that I can do. Like, look, I ain't got no money, but I got a meal for you. I can
Mm-hmm.
cook for you. I can come over here and eat. It's something that was just always been like a therapeutic. You put your music on, you start
Mm-hmm.
cooking, and that's just basically when I noticed that this is what I'm definitely going to be doing. I want to say maybe about 17. maybe like 16, 17 years old. My mom had put me in a summer studio program at the
Mm-hmm.
Art Institute of Washington. And it was for high schoolers that was finishing school and they wanted to just do like a trial run to see
Mm-hmm.
if this school is something that you like. I went there and I'm like, yeah, this is it. This
Mm.
is it. I just like the theory of it, tasting it, eating it, knowing the mother sauces, what, how to combine this and this tastes good with this. Just the whole
Yeah.
cuisine itself is just like, you know,
Yeah. I
I
love
love
that.
it.
And I love that you recognized it early in life too, because a lot of people don't always know what they want to do. So
Mhm.
that's really cool. And I can relate to that, knowing that you love it, even to do it for free.
Yeah.
Probably even though it's hard, because cooking is hard work. Standing on
Yeah.
your feet in the kitchen for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Um, so then what inspired you to not just do it for free and to turn it into a business? How did you end up moving in that direction?
Well, that's a funny story. Um, this was right at the beginning of the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
and I was laid off. Of course, I was getting unemployment, but that was not my check. Like how it is going to
Mm-hmm.
work. And I'm just laying in the bed, and I'm watching this show called Self Made about Madam C.J. Walker.
Ah,
And just
yeah.
to hear the beginning, she was like, "These cans of hair grease is $10." And when I tell you it did, the fact that she was able to connect with the people that she was talking to. And at
Mm-hmm.
that moment, I realized that these people aren't buying the product, they're buying her. They talked
Mm-hmm.
to her, they got to know her, and it was like, they resonated with her story.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, man, I'm cooking for these girls in this building because at the time I was in the transitional housing program.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm cooking for these girls in the building. They like, Roniece, I got this chicken. I got this lamb. I'm like, girl, just bring it upstairs. I'll cook it for you. It's just, I ain't got no job. You know what I'm saying? We all on
Mm-hmm.
quarantine. And
Mm-hmm.
we just cooking.
Yeah.
So after I seen the show, I called my friend. She lived downstairs. I'm like, Brianna, if I start selling dinners, you gonna buy it? She was like, girl, yes. And after that, I called my friend down the street. I'm like, look, I'm selling dinners now. He was like, oh, how much your place? I was like, they just $20. Hey, Roniece cooking. The whole neighborhood had my
Wow.
plates. I'm talking
Yeah.
every time I used to do my dinners on Fridays only. Cause I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to make so much food and then it not sell. So I was like, let me just do half a
Yeah.
pan of everything. First time I did it, whole half a pan sold out. Second
Man.
time I did it, I was like, all right, let me do the full pans. So I did the full pans and I only had a little bit left. So I was like, I can do that.
Yeah.
And I remember it was like my fourth time doing it. And I had made like $1,200 in one day.
Wow.
I was like, I'm never going back to work again. I'm never going back to work again.
Yeah.
This is, because at the end of the day, it's a lot of people that's like, okay, if he eating it, I'ma eat it. Oh, what you got? It's word of mouth. Oh, that smell
Mm-hmm.
good. That look good. So
Mm-hmm.
when people see you outside and they see that hustle in you and they like, man, I got this, I got this. Or you give me two plates, I give you $15. $15, I got you. $25, I got you. You got a bargain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's how that's how it all started. That was the beginning
Okay.
of my entrepreneurship journey.
Okay. From Madam C.J. Walker, I
Yeah,
see the
Madam C.J. Walker. She
inspiration
built a
from
whole
inspiration.
empire, and she
Yeah.
had so many workers. She had a factory. She was
Mm-hmm.
told no so many times, and
Yeah.
she still kept going. And that was very
Yeah.
inspiring to me.
Yeah. And then, I think even too, when you have something like that and God is kind of telling you, or what you normally get, I think, is other people telling you, you should do this, you should do this. And it's really messages from God, I believe. And then we
Hmm.
like say, all right, I'm gonna just try it. And then once we jump off that ledge, he shows us what could be.
Yeah,
So
and it's crazy because even when I was working in DC public schools, I was creating menus of like, okay, in the summertime I'm gonna do this, in the spring I was creating menus to try to figure out how can I get out of this box? Like it's taking away my whole day, and I know people want food. I used to cook at school for the staff for
Mm-hmm.
our lunch.
So, Reniece, what does a typical day as a chef look like for you?
So when you say a typical day, you mean like during a catering or during like a pop-up event?
Let's say catering event, because that seems like a lot of work.
So the thing about all of this is planning.
Mm-hmm.
If you get your stuff straight prepped a day before and you
Mm-hmm.
cook off everything that morning, it's
Mm-hmm.
like clockwork. The most
Mm-hmm.
thing that you got to do is load the car, unpack, set up.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much how I like to run the show. So, like, if I have a catering on Saturday, that Thursday and Wednesday are my
Mm-hmm.
to get everything I need from one store. So to take some of the pressure off, okay, I'll get that tomorrow. Let me go to another store. You know what I'm saying? Drop
Mm-hmm.
everything off at the kitchen, do what I gotta do, and then Thursday I'm in there chopping vegetables, um, cutting up the fruit for the charcuterie,
Mm-hmm.
um, things like that. If I gotta boil my noodles, I will do that. Um, and or like if I gotta make potato salad, I'll chop the potatoes, boil the potatoes off, things like that. And then that Friday or that the day of the catering, everything just get ran through the oven. I make the sauce real
Mm-hmm.
quick for the macaroni, run it through the oven. The chicken runs through the oven or fried in the grease, drop it in the grease. The vegetables, put that in there because everything is done in bulk. So I have big pots, big pans, big
Mm-hmm.
ovens, commercial ovens. So it's more easier to move when you in the correct facility versus trying to do everything out your house with little pots and pans. Even though that's where you got to start, but when you growing,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna force you to go to a bigger space.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a little bit busy, but I've been doing this for so long now. It's like
Mm-hmm.
everything is seamless now. When I first started catering, I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. Stuff was burning, smoke detector going off. I forgot I got the macaroni in the oven. It's just, it was too much. It's like I had to take a step back and really like, okay, I like the money, but I don't want to put out bull crap for people to eat because I'm
Mm-hmm.
rushing.
Yeah.
So that's when I had to realize the importance of coming up with a menu, strategizing, have a
Mm-hmm.
cutoff time where people placing their order. Because you got people placing their order 5 minutes before delivery start. You
Mm-hmm.
want that $25, or they order two platters, that's $50. So, all right, I'm going to squeeze you in there. This person
Mm-hmm.
was like, I ordered this. Oh, I forgot. You got to make sure you in control.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I just learned how to just take my time, organize, pace myself,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's much better.
Good, good. The
Yeah.
systems and structures.
Yes.
That's what I had to learn as I went was if you have a system, it's
Yeah.
gonna be a lot smoother.
Yeah. And stick to that system.
Mm-hmm.
Stick to it because sometimes you got them friends that's please, please, please. All right. And as soon as you don't honor that promise you made to yourself, you
Mm-hmm.
let yourself down. And
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing I had to learn the hard way multiple times. So I'm like, man, look, my policy. I got 75. I understand what you're saying, but you're going to have to wait the next Friday, baby. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? And just being self-disciplined, you
Mm-hmm.
know, is the reason why I'm able to have a smooth day with like my catering.
Speaking of having your systems and all those, because you are an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So how do you balance being the owner of like with the business part with the creative side of being the chef?
So I had to actually go to school, not school like college, but there was this program. That's the thing I love about DC.
Mm-hmm.
They have so many programs for different aspects of your life. Whether you want to learn how to cook, if you learn how to expand your business, when you learn how to legalize your business, when you actually have your business and you get a brick and mortar, it's programs for every single thing. But you have to be dedicated and willing to put the work in.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not putting the work in, nobody's going to do it for you.
Yeah.
So what I had to do was I signed up for the newsletter for the small business SBA something.
Oh,
I
SBA.
forgot the website, but it's they have newsletters, so they let you know
Mm-hmm.
like we're going to be at MLK for people who want to legalize their business. Da 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 da. I was like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
bet I'm in there. I went there to MLK. It's crazy because that's when I first met this lady. Her name is Cece. She has the kitchen plug. She has
Mm-hmm.
a food truck. We all like this now. But when I first met
Mm-hmm.
her, she was like, I was like, okay, I'm just trying to collaborate with people, but she like, girl, I don't even know you like that, which is
Yeah.
cool because her name was already up and jumping. I
Mm-hmm.
was trying to get to where she was trying to be at. So
Mm-hmm.
that's when I ran into LEDC. And LEDC taught me the importance of the same way you are creative is the same way you have to be, and you have that structure with your business. You have to have that in order on the paperwork side.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the real money and the opportunity comes in.
Okay.
And they also taught me, shout out to Mr. Jose.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it taught me the importance of knowledge and how knowledge is money.
Mm-hmm.
The more you know, you can turn that into something profitable. So they taught me QuickBooks. They taught me my marketing strategy and the importance of having a business plan. They
Mm-hmm.
helped me get all the logistics for the paperwork side, register with the IRS, all of that. And the thing about being a caterer is catering slows down. It's not always jumping. So
Mm-hmm.
you got to find something to make your ends meet if that's what you're going to
Mm-hmm.
do if you're going to be in that field.
Yeah.
So during the time of my catering slowing down, and the plates slowed down because I had moved uptown. My main clientele was in Southeast, so they
Mm-hmm.
not able to just come and get the place because most of them don't drive. They right
Mm-hmm.
around. We all in the same neighborhood, so
Yeah.
they just pull up to the house. All right, come on, I'm outside. Oh, I'm gonna be there in 10 minutes. They walking around the corner from V Street, Good Hope Road, wherever they at.
Mm-hmm.
So during that time, I got injured
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't able to sell my dinners. I wasn't able to really cater because I had to go to physical therapy to walk
Mm-hmm.
and get myself back together.
Yeah.
So during that time, I'm like, what can I do? And I had a therapist, and my therapist, her name is Miss Elderby. She really, like, being injured and not able to do what you normally do. You don't know what you got till it's gone. When you can't get up and walk, when you can't
Mm-hmm.
stand up, you just like, oh my goodness, I cannot do nothing.
Mm.
She really helped pull me out of this dark place.
Yeah.
And she was like, hey, we here now. You want to get out this hole, Roniece? That means you got to start.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me? Yeah, I had a phone call.
Yeah.
So she was like, you want to get out this dark place? You gotta stop digging. So I'm like, okay, what can I do? I was letting her know about my business. And she was like, well, what about the paperwork side? Do you got all of that straight? Because, now I'm still just cooking at my house. I'm still doing dinners at this time. And
Mm-hmm.
LEDC was the people that actually just helped me get everything situated. So just like I have a system with my catering, I now have a system with my bookkeeping.
Mm-hmm.
And QuickBooks basically do all the hard work for me. So when I
Mm-hmm.
send the invoice, I don't send no. If we do cash, it's okay, but I'll everything has to be done through the invoice. I send you the invoice or the estimate. Once you approve it, that is my legal document right there to say, okay, we're locked in. This is what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, these are the dates, and your deposit has already been made. Once that's done, then I can get into the creative side of things, like, okay, which is usually done through like the consultation. So, what's your budget?
Mm-hmm.
Um, do you already have a menu set? Do you want to just freestyle? How can we do this? And that's where I rely on the knowledge that I got from school. How to mix and
Right.
mingle, how to add this with that. Let's see what do you think about this? And the clients I use like, no, I don't really like that. Or they're like, oh yeah, I never heard of that. That might be good. So that's how I'm able to keep that balance, is just making sure that I have put my hat on for the business side. I'm in compliance with DC so I can keep my license. And then my fun creative side, which keeps the clients coming.
Yeah.
So it's like a delicate balance. I don't, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like it. I like it. So let's talk a little bit about this food. Okay, you
Okay.
mentioned your mac and cheese and all the things, and I've seen your really beautiful charcuteries, which I
Hmm.
haven't really seen anything like that at that grand of a size.
Yeah.
Um, but just specific to you, so we know food, especially if we grew up around it, there's some kind of story around it. Is there a particular dish that represents your journey or even a special memory? Is there something special to you?
Now that my grandmother just recently passed in
Mm,
December,
sorry to
because
hear that.
food was just always just food. Thank you. Food was always just food to me. I love to eat. And my mom, she have a lot of siblings. She got 8 brothers and sisters. So when
Mm-hmm.
she had to cook, it was more so of a task for her. She didn't really love to cook.
Mm-hmm.
But my grandmother, you taste the love in her food. Like, I used to love going to my grandmother's house. My mother cook, I'd be like, this good enough to eat. This is what it is. But my grandmother, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So she used to make me pot roast with candied yams. Or she'd do corn on the cob and the dinner rolls that come in the package in the aluminum foil pack.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you just put it in the oven. And she used to be like, you like it? Taste that with that. How you like it? I said, Grandma, this is so good. You want some more? You can have some more. You let me know. And that uh, that specific meal right there is really what keeps my heart connected to the soul food side.
Mm-hmm.
And when she got a little bit older, blood pressure, things like that, it was like, when I cook, she like, okay, I like that macaroni. I like them lamb chops. I like
Mm-hmm.
your seafood bowl. So those are the 3 things my grandmother used to always have me make.
Mm.
And so those are the dishes that are really significant to me. And I know I will never turn away from that. Because not only did she like it, those are like also one of my most popular sellers. My lamb
Ah,
chops,
okay.
my macaroni, top tier.
Okay.
So,
Um, so I think what I want to know about now is in terms of this process, because we know you love to cook. And it sounds like you also enjoying the business aspect of it too and learning. But what that you're open with sharing, I guess, what are some challenges that you faced? Or even like, has there ever been a time where you've been like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this. Um,
um, I want to say 2 times where
mm-hmm,
I voluntarily was like, I'm not doing this no more.
mm-hmm,
The first time was when I had my first out of state catering. And it was
mm-hmm,
for a grazing table. But she wanted to do like a big grazing table outside. And I had everything in order for, who's gonna watch my kids, who's gonna do this, who's gonna do that. And at the last minute, um, the person had got mad at me and was like, you better find somebody else to do it. And I'm like, I can't do this. Every time I need some help, everybody pulling back. and X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
it's like, dang, I do everything. I take the kids. I'm at parent teacher conference. We travel. We go to the playground. We do things together collectively as a
Mhm.
family. I'm spiritual oriented. So I make sure that we study the Bible. I make sure we do my book of Bible stories. We build Noah's Ark. Like just things with my kids. And it's like the one time, not the one time, but the plenty of times that I ask for help, you get mad at me, you just strip it away, and you know this is how I make my money. You know
Mhm.
this is how I take care of my children.
Mhm.
That right there is the one of the times that I was just like, I don't think I can do this, because it's like, am I chasing something that's unrealistic? You know what I'm saying? Like I got kids and I'm out here trying to chase my dreams. Maybe I should just get a job because at least I'll be able to work when they're at school and I have a babysitter, and just do this as a side hustle or when I can.
Yeah.
And my aunt just stepped in. My aunt Marcella was just like, "Girl, bring them kids over here. I'll see you when you get back."
Okay, Auntie.
And I was like, "You got your own kids. You got your own stuff to worry about. This is ridiculous. My kids are not your kids." She said, "Girl, bye." I said, "All right, well, I ain't about to beg you now. So let me just go ahead on and drop y'all off. Head on up this road." And
Yeah.
so, I went on ahead and did that, and it just turned out to be great.
Yeah.
My kids were happy because they was able to have fun because she got a house full of kids. And
Yeah.
I know how it is when you have kids and it's like, oh my goodness, I'm not trying to overwhelm nobody or burden nobody.
Mhm.
And then put you at the last minute to have to ask or, you know what I'm saying? And we talk
Mhm.
almost every other day. So it was nothing for her to call me. What you doing? What y'all doing? And I'm like, you know.
Yeah.
And the second time that I felt like I wanted to give up was like just recently. I want to say like last week, Monday.
Okay.
Like
Very
seriously.
recent.
Because me trying to get into a brick and mortar, and this is a side of the business that I have no experience in.
Mm.
And it's like, business is business. When you're doing business, you got to take your feelings out of it.
Yeah.
Even though I'm very emotionally invested in my business, I
Mhm.
love my business. I feel like if you treat people right, they treat you right. It comes back full circle. So just dealing with a lady who I'm trying to get this kitchen from, it was like, it was cool at first. And then when we started talking about the numbers, she just started like getting greedy. And I'm like, I told you this is what I had. I'm a small business. I'm coming from a small business. I don't have $12,000 to give you from on the jump. I got a
Mhm.
deposit. I need that first month free. And I got you the following month. The money that goes out, I have to bring it back in.
Mhm.
And I'm not about to start my business in the red. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I do it in the yellow. I will take that risk for myself because I can bet on myself. You know, History has shown that I know how to generate income.
Mhm.
And with this space, I know I can scale.
Yeah.
So it took a lot out of me, just trying to negotiate, dealing with people that they know that you're hungry for something, they know that you're inexperienced, and they will use that to their advantage.
Mhm.
And even when it comes to like my paperwork, me having to renew my license, I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't know that I had to have the registered agency the whole time. If you don't have this, they're gonna take away that. So I gotta pay you to tell me to do my biennial fees. I gotta
Mhm.
pay the biennial fee, pay you. You ain't even doing nothing. I could do this on my own. Now I gotta pay another fee for even firing you. It's like I was getting robbed before my eyes. You know what I'm saying? I got the
Mm.
IRS robbing me. I got
Yeah.
this lady telling me, if you want this kitchen, you got to get 12,000. I'm like, I only saved up on 15. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I'm like, I don't have that. I'm not about to just give you everything and then start my business all the way in the red like that. Like I have to protect what I built,
Mhm.
And if I'm not comfortable starting there, as much as I want that kitchen, I gotta walk away to protect my business, to protect myself, because I'm not going to be drowning trying to pay somebody back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And at that moment, I was just like, maybe I shouldn't do this.
Hmm.
Maybe I shouldn't do this. Like, I feel like I'm fighting so hard for something and it's literally slipping through my fingers, you know,
Yeah.
on top of the kids doing what they doing, kids being kids, me still having to help with homework, me still having to, go to the school, IEP meetings, parent teacher conference, goal setting conference, me wearing all these different hats. And I'm just like, God, what you want me to do?
Hmm.
Because at this point, I surrender.
Hmm.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
And those are really my challenges as far as just juggling mom, business, being a single mom, having to do all of this on your own. And then I have to like kind of recalibrate myself, you know. And I'm like, God just brought me all the way here.
Hmm.
Why would He just leave you here?
Hmm.
Why am I listening to
Exactly.
guilt? Why am I listening to fear? Why am I listening to shame? If I don't get this kitchen, so many people gonna be disappointed. Why am I listening to all of those things? And God is greater than that.
Hmm.
And that right there snapped me back into reality.
Mm.
So, I got a meeting with her tomorrow, and I have to let her know I can't do this kitchen.
Mm.
I just asked for 1 month free. You said yes. That month has to be May. You said no, it has to be April. And I can't do it, because if
Hmm.
I allow you to try to bully me into something, that's setting the tone for the whole dynamic of our relationship. And I
Hmm.
can't start off like that.
Yeah.
And that's one of the hard parts about the business, which brings me back to Madam C.J. Walker. She went to look at so many factories. She tried to get so many investors. And I want to say like a whole episode was full of everybody telling her no.
Hmm. Hmm.
Full of everybody telling her no. So,
Yeah. That's how it is though.
yeah.
It
And that's
really is.
okay.
And
And that's
especially,
okay.
yeah, because the no's, they either, depending on what your spirit is pushing you to do or what you are leaning into, you're either going to shy away or it's going to give you more drive to keep pushing forward, or you're going to learn something that you didn't know before.
Hmm.
Um, so you either going to grow or no.
Yeah. No, for real.
Hmm.
And, I'm very persistent.
Hmm. I can tell.
Even through a lot of things that I've been through in my life, there's no way I can just let that deter me from my goal. Because, yes, my goal is to get a kitchen, but also my goal is to have somebody with another small business that needs a kitchen. This
Mm-hmm.
is your space to use when I'm not using it in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Come in, get your stuff done. Each one teach one. And I learned that from the Spice Suite when she got free business classes. I signed up for that too.
Yeah.
You know, so
Few of those.
it's just like that. One of the things I learned from her class was to invest in yourself. Don't always look for somebody to give you money to do this, give you money to do that. You never know who's watching you.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
You never know what opportunities might arise. And that's what I've been doing. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
done bought so much stuff for this kitchen already. And for me, that's what made me so heartbroken, because it's like, I done went out and got a POS system. I bought a whole refrigerator. Like, God
It's
dang,
already at
lady.
one door. Something is coming. You
It
just
already
be
came
prepared.
the
Oh, it's
same day. Yes. So my friend had called me and she was like, hey, she works at a charter school. So what she does is reach out to other nonprofits, small companies that teach the students how to cook, how to plant seeds, how to make
mm,
clothes, things like that. And one of the people that she worked with was like, hey, we just got a grant for this kitchen, but we don't have a licensed chef. And I
mm,
wanted to know if you know somebody that can use this space free of charge. But the only thing is, they have to be our chef for all of our events. We have an event twice a week. So, so she basically was saying, do you know anybody? They would have to be our chef. And so I was like, this is crazy. I literally just told the lady, in my brain, I made sure I made up in my mind, like I'm not gonna take this kitchen. And the same day, she called me with that opportunity. So
That's
I was excited
amazing.
about that.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. I was definitely excited about that. So I said, this is crazy how fast God works.
So, Renice, if you could give one piece of advice to an aspiring chef or food entrepreneur, what would be that one piece of advice?
Um, I would say take your time.
Mm-hmm.
All money is not good money. So don't burn yourself out trying to catch every dollar. And always network. Look for any type of opportunities that will help you get further into the industry that you want to get into. So if it's culinary, make room for them opportunities by watching your association,
Mm-hmm.
um, and staying focused, minding your business, paying attention to the business that pays you, not all the other distractions because they're going to come. And
Mm-hmm.
then once you free your mind of those distractions, you got the right association around you. Now you make space for those opportunities to align with you. And that would be my advice.
I think that's really good advice.
Yeah.
Really good. Now, if your food could deliver one message to the world, what would you want? What would you want it to say?
Hmm. Uh, if my food could deliver a message, I would. That's a good question. I know. I would say. It would say, "We're changing the city. We're changing the world, one egg roll at a time, or one bite at a time." You know.
Oh, I love that. I think DC is the first place where I ever had so many different varieties of egg rolls. And
Mhm.
I love them because I love a roll. I love anything that's
Mhm.
handheld.
Yeah. And you can get somebody to buy an egg roll quicker than a plate.
Yeah.
So I'm glad
I'm
I
gonna have to
stepped
try
into
that egg roll.
that.
You know what I should have done was I should have got an order and then ate it while I was on the show so people can
Mhm.
see how good it is.
Mhm. Well, they are at Buddy's DC. They're on the
Buddy
food
DC.
truck. KC Kitchen Plug food truck. So
Okay.
I've been trying to get it out there. Buddy's DC is on 11th Street, Northwest. It's a sports bar. And they got my egg rolls
Mm,
in their menu. My spring rolls, my apple pie egg rolls, and my strawberry and cream. And the food truck
mhm.
has my steak and cheese, my chicken and cheese, and my apple pie egg rolls.
Okay, nice. That sounds good.
Yeah, so you want an egg roll and you want one from me, you know where to go.
Okay, and we're gonna put your info in the show notes too. Now we're at my favorite part where I get to learn a little bit about you in terms of music.
Okay.
And we know that music is like the soundtrack to our lives, and so there's usually some kind of song or something that uh, it resonates with something we're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about being in the kitchen because you mentioned this earlier in the episode. When you in there, you got your music on, you vibing. That's the same way I'm baking. So when you in there
Yeah.
cooking, what is your go-to song?
So usually, when I'm cooking, there's this song called it's from this group called The Internet, and it's called Hold On.
Mm-hmm.
And When I'm like making my egg roll orders, because they usually come in like bulk orders of like 600, 500. I'm playing trap music. Young boy, get that money. You know what I'm saying? So that's really how, that's not the name of the song, but that's my mentality. Like, you don't feel like doing it, but you do it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And when I'm cooking for like a family gathering or I'm like having something fun in my house, it's like girly music. Summer
Mhm.
Walker, SZA. Um, I just recently found out about this man. His name is Teddy something.
Teddy Swims.
I think it's a white man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
I like him. I like him a lot. He got him a song with him and forgot the other man's name, but it's called "Are You Even Real?"
Mm.
And I love that song. And then J Cole, I love me some J Cole, especially "Crooked Smile,"
Yeah.
because it really just puts in perspective of like you're not. He says you're not picture perfect, but you're worth the picture still. And it just
Yeah.
helps me to just, say, hey, life is not going to be perfect. I'm not going to be perfect, but I'm still worth whatever, I feel like I'm worthy of.
Absolutely.
And yeah, those are my go tos.
Okay. So, and I don't know if this might be any different than what you've already told me, but when you having a tough day, what's something you listen to for motivation? Or even if it's just some lyrics.
It's usually J. Cole.
Mm.
He really, his album KOD and that Crooked Smile really just helps me to understand, like, you gotta keep pushing, you know.
Mhm.
I know it's hard, you know what I'm saying, but you gotta keep going. And also Tim's, um, it's called Free Mind,
Mhm.
and she has another song. I forgot the name of the lyrics, but she says, basically, I might not be weak. I forgot the name, but it's her and another man that sings it.
Mm. I don't know if I know it.
Found. It's called Found.
Oh, okay.
So Tim's Found and Free Mind and J. Cole, Crooked Smile.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Let me see. What other kind of songs I want to know about you? Do you have a song that reminds you of like a defining moment in your journey as a chef or entrepreneur? Or is it J. Cole again?
He's really like motivational.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he
And it's
stayed true to
fine if you
himself.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he stayed true to himself. Even though he got the money, he didn't change up his
Mhm.
style. He don't wear all that flashy clothes. And it's just like you can still have money and be who you are. I feel like money, when people change with the money, that's really who they were. They just couldn't, they
Mhm.
didn't have funds to do it.
Mhm.
And but a defining song, I really don't have one because it's like I don't feel like I'm where I want to be. You get what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
I still, it's like, yes, I came so far when I look back, but then when I look forward, it's like, God dang, I still got a long way to go. You at the top of one mountain, but you at the bottom of the next. And it's like, I really don't have one that was like defining, like a song that's like, yes, I made it. Because I don't really feel, I just feel like, I can say, all right, I made it when I'm able to help another person as far as their business to grow, when I'm able to help create jobs for families, when I'm able to like make a difference in my community, then I feel like that's when I made it.
Mhm.
Right now, I ain't made no difference, but for my own family, my own
I
self.
don't know if that's necessarily true.
Okay.
You looking for the big, like, I was able to bring somebody up. I was able to.
Yeah.
It sometimes it happens in smaller stages.
Exactly. And that's
Yeah,
what I feel like, little increments. That's why I'm like, I don't have no song that like
yeah,
make
yeah.
me feel like,
So,
because I'm just only, it's this is the beginning.
hmm
I'm still at the
there
beginning.
might be a song somewhere. I bet if we looked it up, there's a song called "This Is the Beginning."
Yeah, no, and it is. It definitely is. I really, I just feel like I got so much work. Like when you ask me to come on a podcast and I can be an inspiration, and I'm like, I ain't even do nothing. I just be feeling like it's so much more, so much more. And that's another thing I got to work on because it's like I'm already in the middle of a prayer that I prayed years before. So I'm learning to stop and smell the roses because it was a time that I didn't have none of this.
Yeah,
It was a
yeah.
time I was begging for clients, begging for just constant jobs, begging for a
Mhm.
house. And so it's like for me to have all of this and still want more, I know it seems like greedy. So it's like I gotta really just
Hmm.
think like, Roniece, just be grateful for what you got. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think it's nothing wrong with wanting more.
Yeah.
I think that we do have to do better about taking in the moment and, like you said, smelling the roses. Because when you deep in it, you can't always see from the outside. But if you really take a moment and you sit and you look back,
And
like,
you zoom out. Yeah.
it's like, wow, what are the things that God has brought me through, right? But it's nothing wrong with wanting more.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that at
Yeah.
all. So,
Yeah. I mean, and that's true. I think that's what keeps me going. It's like there's still work to be done. Don't get
mhm,
comfortable. You know, yes, take
mhm,
some time for you. Don't burn yourself out. Because I used to hear all these motivational things. If you really want it, you going to go hard. You not going to give up. You going to go, go, go. And go, go, go. That's the one-way ticket to getting burnt out quick.
ooh,
You know? So I've learned that going, going, going also means pouring into yourself. Because you
mhm,
giving, giving,
mhm,
giving, and you ain't got nothing for yourself. You can't
yeah,
pour from an empty cup.
yeah,
And that's
yeah,
something that I'm like, all right, cool. So I do have my moments where I'm like, I can't do that right now. I'm tired. My body has shown me numerous amount of times where I wake up so late for something I had to do at 9 o'clock. I couldn't do it because my body like, girl, we going to sleep until 11. And it's like I missed out. So it's like when you don't listen to the warning signs, where it's like, all right, I'm tired or my body is just
mhm,
not having it. I've learned
mhm,
to listen to myself because
yeah,
you got a million problems when you're healthy. And when my grandmother got sick and she was terminal with the cancer, now she only had one problem.
mhm,
All them problems disappeared. Forget
mhm,
everything.
mhm,
Because your health is like
mhm,
very important. Even your mental health. People don't think it's
yeah,
serious because you can't see it. But you have to be clear minded. You have to
mhm,
have peace. And if you
mhm,
ain't got no peace, you ain't got nothing.
yeah,
You can't run nothing. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? And I know that firsthand because it was a time where I did not have peace. And my
mhm,
house was a reflection of that. And once I started getting clarity and having peace, everything started to straighten up, clean up. I was able to breathe. Kids on a routine. It's hard sometimes. I got my good days, I got my bad days, but every day we going. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
And that's something that I think is really important to have, even when you want more and you want to take in what you've already done or all that you've been through. You still have to take time for yourself. And it's not being selfish,
mhm, mhm,
it's taking care of yourself, you
yeah,
know. And that's something that God wants us to do. He wants you to give him your best. And you can't give him your best if you're tired and you falling
Mm-hmm.
asleep in service
Right.
and
Yep.
you're not giving him your best. Give him your best. Take care of yourself, you know.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Okay, so last thing. Do you have any type of affirmation, scripture, quote that you say to yourself often that you would want to share?
Wait 1 second.
Okay.
I got to make sure it's Isaiah 42:3. I'm so sorry. Okay, Isaiah. Okay, so it's Isaiah 43:2.
Mm-hmm.
And can you still see me?
Not right now, but it's okay.
Okay. Basically, it says, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. When you go through the
Mm-hmm.
fire, the flame won't send you.
Mm-hmm.
And one more time, hold on. When you walk through the fire, you will not be scorched. Okay. When you walk through the fire, you will not be scorched, nor will the flame send you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a scripture that really helped me out so much, because you can be a really good person, give, love, 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 and you're still going to go through things.
Mm-hmm.
And you can be like, oh, why me? I do everything and I've been through so much. And that scripture really helps me to circle back and say, God had to do something so, so powerful. He gave his only son for us. I don't think I would be able to do that for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if I'll be able to get my only son. And life is not going to be easy.
Right.
So when that scripture said, when you go through the flood, when you go through the high waters, I
Mm-hmm.
won't let it flood you. When you go through the flames, it don't say if you go, if you face hard times, if you go through trial. When you do, I'm going to be there
When
with
you
you.
do. Yeah.
So that always helps me to say, all right, cool. It's raining. When it rains, it pours, but I know how to dance in the rain. And
Mm-hmm.
God ain't going to give me nothing I can't handle.
Yeah.
That scripture always just kind of recalibrates me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, I got it. It's all good. I can't do it. My friend Cece that got the kitchen plug, she like, Roniece, this is a great opportunity, but understand this, because she know how so excited I can be for stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And when it don't work out, I'm like, dang man. She like, this is what I want you to understand. If this doesn't works out, that is God protecting you from something that you.
Yeah.
um I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yep.
So, excuse me. So
If it doesn't work out.
that is God protecting you from something.
Mm-hmm.
And if it does work out, then that means that it's for you. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever is meant for you, it's going to come. Whatever is sent from God, it's not going to be confusion. It's not going to be stress. It's not going to be chaos. It's not going to be, I don't know what's going on. You're going to know that it was sent from Him. Nothing is going to stop you from getting what He sent for you. Not even you. You not even going to get in the way of your own blessing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my goodness. When God wants something for you, you can have the wrong people around you. You ain't going to get it until you get that situated. Because that
Mm-hmm.
blessing ain't for everybody. And with the type of heart you got, everybody coming. You know what I'm saying? That's just not, you got to get yourself together.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, it didn't work out, with the kitchen and everything, but something else worked out the same day. And I'm
Yeah.
like, it's crazy how fast God works. So it's like, you win some, you lose some, but each day you just keep going. That's why I never try to make nobody feel bad. You working a 9 to 5, and I'm sorry. Yeah, this is not for everybody. Being an entrepreneur is not for everybody. And without the people that's working, I wouldn't be in business. So I would never tell nobody don't work a job. Keep
Mm-hmm.
on working and call me when you need catering. You know what I'm saying? And working, just like working ain't for everybody. I got a lot of kids. So I have to be able to maneuver, and my schedule has to be flexible enough for me to still be a mom, because
Yeah.
that is still a job for me at the end of the day. You got your business, and then you got to be mommy, and then you got to be manager, and then you got to be, you know. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Roniece, this was good. I'm
Yes.
so glad that you joined me. I'm
Thank you
so
so much for
glad
having
that you
me.
did. Do you want to tell people where they can find you?
So right now you can find me on Instagram at the real underscore good eats. You can also find me at my website www.therealgoodeats with a z.org.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna be resuming with DCI, so I will still be doing my pop-ups. So I'm excited about that on 8th Street. So
Wonderful.
yeah.
Okay, and I'll put all this information in the show notes, but also when I post, I will put that in so everybody can get to you directly.
Okay,
And
yes.
just so those of you who watch, you do want to try this if you're in the DMV. Okay.
Please do. I got the shut it down mac and cheese.
It is. All right, so that's a wrap for this episode of Life, Language, and Lyrics. I hope you learned something new and feel compelled to or inspired to do the thing that you've been called to do or been afraid to do. And if you enjoyed the show, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow on YouTube and Instagram. And your support will help keep these kind of conversations going. So until next time, take care, stay inspired, and keep showing up for yourself. See y'all
Yes.
soon.
Thank you.